What if your body wasn't born? What if someone actually crafted it by hand, thousands of years before your first breath, according to one of ancient Egypt's oldest creation stories? That's exactly what happened. Before your heart ever beat, before your bones existed, before your parents even knew your name, a forgotten God sat beside a divine potter's wheel, carefully shaping every part of you from sacred clay. Not just your body, but your soul, your lifespan, your destiny, and perhaps even your future itself. His name wasn't Ra. It wasn't Osiris. It wasn't Anubis. It was Khnum, the divine craftsman whom many Egyptians believed literally created humanity. Yet despite being one of Egypt's oldest creator gods, most people have never heard of him. Today, we're uncovering the astonishing myths surrounding the ram-headed god who may have shaped every human being, one by one. Who creates the creator? That's a question ancient civilizations struggled with for thousands of years. Most mythologies begin with chaos, darkness, an endless ocean. Then suddenly, a god appears. But Egyptian religion wasn't one single story. It was a collection of traditions from different cities, and each city proudly claimed its own creator. In Elephantine, near the first cataract of the Nile, that creator was Khnum. Long before pyramids rose above the desert, Khnum was already worshipped. His name likely means the molder, the builder, or simply the one who forms. Unlike other creator gods who merely spoke the world into existence, Khnum worked with his hands. He shaped life. He perfected it. He engineered creation. The Egyptians imagined him as a powerful man with the head of a ram. Not because rams were frightening, but because they symbolized strength, fertility, creative power, and unstoppable life. To the people living beside the Nile, Khnum wasn't distant. He was an artisan, a master craftsman, and every masterpiece began with clay. Imagine watching your own body being built before you existed. This became one of the most beautiful images in all Egyptian religion. Inside sacred temples, Khnum sat before a spinning potter's wheel. With incredible patience, he molded human bodies from the rich clay left behind by the annual Nile flood. Every finger, every eye, every heartbeat. Nothing happened by accident. Nothing was random. Every detail was intentionally crafted. Some temple reliefs even show Khnum creating twins simultaneously. On one wheel, he shapes the baby's physical body. On the other, he forms something equally important: the Ka. The Egyptians believed every person possessed multiple spiritual components. The Ka was one of the most essential. It represented a person's vital life force, the spiritual double, that remained connected to them throughout life and after death. Khnum wasn't simply creating flesh. He was creating existence itself. The moment the body and Ka were complete, they would be presented to the goddess of birth, ready to enter the human world. To ancient Egyptians, every birth wasn't simply biology. It was divine craftsmanship. What if your future was decided before you were even born? For many Egyptians, creation didn't end when Khnum finished shaping the body. Some later traditions describe something even more astonishing. Khnum wasn't only responsible for forming people, he also helped determine their destiny, their lifespan, their abilities, their fortune, their place in society. Imagine a master sculptor, carefully deciding every tiny detail before placing his finished work into the world. That was Khnum. In some temple inscriptions, other deities assist this sacred process. The frog-headed goddess Heket, associated with birth, breathes life into Khnum's carefully crafted creation. Together, they transform lifeless clay into living humanity. The message was profound. Life wasn't random. Every person had purpose. Every existence had been intentionally designed by divine hands. Even kings believed they had first been shaped on Khnum's wheel. Before we uncover one of Khnum's most astonishing secrets, if you're enjoying these forgotten stories of ancient Egypt, take a second to like the video and subscribe. It helps us bring more hidden myths, mysterious gods, and incredible ancient legends back to life. Now, let's discover what happened next. Why would Egypt's most powerful ruler need a second birth? Because ordinary humans weren't the only ones Khnum created. The pharaoh himself claimed divine origins. Temple walls across Egypt contain remarkable scenes showing Khnum personally creating future kings. One famous example appears at the Temple of Luxor. There, Khnum sits before his potter's wheel, carefully shaping the body of the future pharaoh. Beside that figure, he simultaneously creates the royal Ka. The king wasn't merely born into power, he was designed for it. Other gods then guide this divine child toward birth. To Egyptian subjects, this wasn't symbolic propaganda. It reinforced a sacred truth. The pharaoh ruled because creation itself had prepared him. His authority began long before his first breath. It began on Khnum's wheel. Here's the part almost nobody talks about. Some Egyptians believed Khnum didn't just create humans, he created the gods themselves. Ancient Egyptian religion constantly evolved over more than 3,000 years. Different temples emphasized different traditions, and as Khnum's importance grew, some inscriptions expanded his creative powers dramatically. Rather than merely shaping humanity, they praised him as the father of fathers, the mother of mothers, the creator of everything that exists. These astonishing titles suggested something extraordinary. Khnum stood before creation itself, not only forming humanity, but fashioning divine beings, animals, plants, and every living creature. Some hymns describe him as the one who fashioned the limbs of every god. Others portray him as the architect who designed the entire living world. This wasn't necessarily believed everywhere in Egypt. Different cities honored different creator gods. Heliopolis celebrated Atum. Memphis praised Ptah. Hermopolis emphasized the Ogdoad. Yet in Khnum's own sacred tradition, his creative power reached almost unimaginable heights. Everything that lived had first passed through his hands. What if the world's greatest river flowed because of one forgotten god? Khnum wasn't only the creator of people, he also became closely connected with the Nile itself. His main temple stood on the island of Elephantine, near the southern gateway of Egypt. Here, many Egyptians believed the life-giving waters emerged under Khnum's protection. Every summer, the Nile flooded. It covered the land with fertile black mud. Without this flood, Egypt would become desert, so it made perfect sense. The god who shaped humans from clay also controlled the clay itself. The rich mud that covered the fields became the very material of creation. Khnum wasn't simply making people. He was constantly renewing Egypt itself. Each flood represented another chance for life, another harvest, another generation, another creation. The river, the soil, and humanity were forever connected through him. How does a god who supposedly created humanity almost disappear from history? Unlike Ra, Khnum wasn't associated with the blazing sun. Unlike Osiris, he wasn't the ruler of the afterlife. Unlike Anubis, he didn't dominate funerary art. His work happened quietly, before birth, before history, before anyone remembered. As Egypt changed, other gods rose to greater fame. Religious traditions merged, kingdoms fell, empires came and went. But Khnum never completely vanished. His image remained carved into temples. His myths survived on ancient walls, and modern archaeologists continue discovering how central he once was to Egyptian thought. Perhaps that's because his message never truly became outdated. Creation isn't only about beginnings, it's about craftsmanship, patience, precision, purpose. Every masterpiece begins with careful hands, and for the ancient Egyptians, those hands belonged to Khnum.